And for the first time in the history of Formula Lights, a Molegard-built Danish hull with the number 14 Latitude sponsor on the side of Tyler Peterson is your pole sitter here in Formula Lights. Will he be able to bring that Danish hull to victory here in Formula Lights? Coming second off the start pontoon, the California native running for Williams Construction and Backhoe Service, number 10, Jason Williams. Third off the start pontoon after a rough go in heat number 1. He made up some ground, but not quite enough. Third off the start pontoon out of Greenfield, Wisconsin, running for Pizza Inn, the number 35 of Mark Schmierbach. In fourth off the start pontoon, coming out of his tri-hull, jumping into his Formula Lights, running for JH Performance Boats and Hertz Audio, the number 13 of Grant Schubert. In fifth position off the start pontoon out of Windsor, Colorado, running for Island Lake Marine and JH Performance Boats, the number 97 of Jared Jensen. And rounding out the field, another California native running for Clover Construction, the number 24 of Jared Wallach. Just like we do in all our Formula Lights racing, especially here in the final, we're going to run that modified Le Mans start. So they're going to start on the beach, right in front of the Nautical Beachfront Resort. And then they are going to run from 1 minute down to 20 seconds in 10-second increments. Once we get to 20 seconds, they're going to go under starter's orders. Once they get under starter's orders, that starter's going to drop that flag. When he drops that flag, these two-cylinder OMC 45 cubic inch outboards are going to, on the back of these Formula Light hulls, are going to come to life through the middle of the course, down to the north end, and then they'll come around and start lap 1 of this main event here in Formula Lights. All righty, hot laps are in. These motors are juiced up and ready to go for this main event here in Formula Lights. You can see all the crews there waiting at the shores right off the Nautical Beachfront Resort to line those boats up. A little bit different than the Le Mans start you see in Formula One car racing. They don't have to have their boats held because they've got 4 tires on the ground. We don't have that luxury here with the constant ever-changing waters on our courses. They've got to be held and then maintain after they fire their motors their racing line all the way through the commitment buoy. The commitment buoy is that big, giant yellow buoy on the far east edge of Lake Havasu, on the east edge of the course. That's technically their second turn, or turn 2. They're going to go through the commitment buoys. Once they get down to turn 2, that's really where they're going to kind of fight for position, and they'll get set into their first positions in the race, and then we'll jockey from there and see what happens here in this Formula Lights class. But I think we're really going to have a 3-dog battle between the 13 of Schubert, or maybe even a 4-boat, the 13 of Schubert, the 35 of Schmierbach, the 10 of Williams, and the 14 of Peterson. It's just all going to be about who comes off the beach really well in this Formula Lights class. As we're getting them lined up on the shores there, we've got 4 boats lined up already, just waiting for the last couple to make their way down to the beach here and get everybody lined up for this main event, sponsored by Lake Havasu VIP Storage here in the Formula Lights class. Attention at the Nautical Beachfront Resort. If you are flying a drone, you need to land your drone immediately, please. We have drones that are capturing video footage. We do not want to get anybody tangled up. So if you are flying a drone, please land that plane before we get under racing here in the Formula Lights final presented by Lake Havasu VIP Storage. Thank you. All right, just waiting for final word from Chief Referee Doug Ray that everybody's lined up in position and ready to go. Just waiting for a few rollers from some of the larger boats that were scooting by the outside of the course. Let those roll through. If you were here yesterday, you remember that first Formula Lights qualifying heat. We had winds clipping at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, creating whitecaps here on the shores of Lake Havasu, and it made it extremely difficult for these Formula Lights to operate on top of the water. Remember, these boats don't have a big V, a deep V hull that digs down into the water like your Mastercraft or your pleasure boat. These ride on two sponsons on top of the water. At full speed, you're probably going to see only about 3 to 3.5 feet of these 13 to 14 foot long boats in the water as they pack air under that tunnel that lifts the boat up out of the water and allows the drag coefficient to be significantly reduced and really allows those small props on the back of those two-stroke, two-cylinder OMC outboards to spin at their fastest rate possible and create the most thrust they can. And they put some immense thrust off the back of these Formula Light speeds in excess of 85 miles an hour. Pretty impressive off a 45 cubic inch two-cylinder motor. Not to mention a two-cylinder motor that was first introduced, I think, about 30 years before I was born, man, maybe 20. These motors have been around a long time. These guys do amazing things to keep them running. There's just nothing that competes with the OMC two-cylinder 45 cubic inch motor that these things have been running for the last 3+ decades. All right, coming up on the 1 minute gun here, who's going to be your champion in the Lake Havasu VIP Storage Formula Lights Championship here at the Anderson Toyota Lake Havasu Classic? Let's crown a champion. 1 minute drivers, 1 minute. Will the young man out of Stacy, Minnesota, running for Latitude, come off the pole and run this thing wire to wire for his first victory ever in Formula Lights and the first victory for a Danish-built hull here in the United States? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will the Williams Construction and Backhoe Service number 10 of Jason Williams get it dialed in and come screaming off the beach and claim a victory here in Arizona and bring back some hardware to California? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or will the 35 of Schmierbach figure out those gremlins from yesterday and run it all the way to a series championship here, coming third off the start pontoon? 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Or will the 13 of Grant Schubert get that JH Performance Machine dialed in and find his way on the top of the podium? Or could it be the 97 of Jared Jensen or the 24 of Jared Wallach? Let's crown a champion here in the Lake Havasu VIP Storage main event here in Formula Lights. 20 seconds, drivers, you're under starters' orders. He drops the flag, and they come roaring off the beach there. Great jump by the 10 of Williams, as well as the 13 of Schubert. Not such a good jump for the 35 of Schmierbach. What's going to happen as they go down to the middle of the course? The 10 of Williams and the 14 of Peterson are deck to deck. Oh, look out, we got a blowover. Oh, they somehow save it. The 10 of Williams and the 14 of Peterson almost blow it over. Side by side, coming to the commitment buoy, and somehow they both landed it upright. What an amazing turn of events. How do you save those boats from going upside down? That's 2 races in a row. On the start, the 14 of Tyler Peterson somehow miraculously saved his boat from going over. Holy cow. And it looks like there might be a hole inside the 10 of Jason Williams as he's running hard back to the start dock. Let's take a look at a replay. For those of you here at the Nautical Beachfront Resort, make sure you jump on Facebook or YouTube. You can see there's about 6 to 8 inches. Then they touch, and that transfers the air from one to the other, and they almost go over and somehow land them both upright. What an amazing feat from not one, but 2 drivers. Here's another replay view. As they go side by side, that air starts to get shared, and oh, they're about to go. Somehow they don't go over, and they land them upright. The 14 of Peterson and the 10 of Williams, days were almost completely ruined before they even got started. They go up, they start to peel off in 2 different directions, and they somehow catch and land those boats upright. Boy, what an amazing replay. Great footage caught by the folks at Live Race Media, our media partner here. But boy, how those 2 boats landed and drove them back to the beach is amazing. There's the 14 of Peterson and the 10 of Williams. No worse for wear. Might have to check their shorts at the end of the race, though, after that one, because that was one hair-raising moment in time there for both the 10 of Williams and the 14 of Peterson. Now I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. I'm going to quick check with my chief referee Doug Ray if there are any penalties assessed, even though the race was stopped by the two drivers, but they didn't go over. It was obviously more of a safety precaution. So I'm going to quick check with chief referee Doug Ray and see what the outcome is going to be of this race stoppage that was caused by the near blowover of the 10 of Jason Williams and the 14 of Tyler Peterson. All right, well, things just got crazy here in Formula Lights. Just spoke with Chief Referee Doug Ray. Due to the fact that the race was stopped because of the incident between the 10 of Williams and the 14 of Peterson, they go to the back of the dock. So the top two boats are now the last two boats on the start pontoon, and somehow the man who has dominated Formula Lights for the last 2 years finds himself on the pole. And when you give the 35 of Mark Schmierbach opportunities like that, that's a risky proposition. Because when this man gets out in front of clean water, he is probably one of, if not the most difficult driver to pass in the country in Formula Lights. You're talking about a 29-year veteran of Formula Lights racing. Multiple world and national championships behind the wheel of a Formula Lights machine. So don't think for a second you're going to get a bunch of opportunities to get by that young man as we take another look at that replay. What an insane replay that was. The 14 of Peterson, boom, he came down, and that thing came to a screeching halt and just dropped it back flat on the water. Honestly, the 14 of Peterson, I'm surprised he didn't go further over because he's got a lot more lift, but he's also got a bit more weight in that boat, so maybe that's what helped him fly back down. But, I mean, I thought that for sure the 10 of Williams was gone. But because he went straight up. Instead of the 14 of Peterson, you see there, he kind of tails off to the left. But great job by the 10 of Jason Williams. Hopefully we can possibly chat with those guys later and see how the heck they pulled that off. But that's 2 races in a row. The 14 of Tyler Peterson is side by side with another boat. They're both fighting for first. They come through the commitment buoy in the middle of the course. They touched, and for the second time, he didn't blow it over. I don't know how that happens. I've never seen it once. I've only seen it a couple times in my life, but not twice by the same driver in 3 weeks. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, a first restart here in Formula Lights. 1 minute, drivers, 1 minute. On the pole now. Out of Greenfield, Wisconsin, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. Can he catch lightning in a bottle and take this unbelievable opportunity to a checkered flag? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will the 13 of Grant Schubert get a good jump now because he's moved up to second on the start pontoon? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or could the rookie, running for Island Lake Marine out of Windsor, Colorado, find his way on the podium, maybe on the top, the 97 of Jared Jensen? 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Then you got the 24 of Jared Wallach, and then the 14 of Tyler Peterson and the 10 of Jason Williams. It's going to be a doozy here in Formula Lights, brought to you by Lake Havasu VIP Storage. Let's crown a champion in Formula Lights. 20 seconds, drivers, you're under starters' orders. He drops the flag. Let's see what the jump is going to look like here. Schmierbach didn't get off that great the first time around. He doesn't again as the 13 of Schubert gets a bit better of a jump, but the Williams and Peterson fighting wide to the outside. As we've got 5 of the 6 competitors squeezing out the 97 of Jared Jensen. And it's the 10 of Jason Williams that comes out of nowhere from way wide to the outside, last off the start pontoon, and wheels that thing all the way around into first place. As our leader, the 10 of Williams now is going to start lap 1 here in this main event. In this 15 minutes plus 1 lap race, here comes the 10 of Williams across the start-finish line, down into turn number 1. He eyes up 1, Schmierbach in his rear view. The 35 of Mark Schmierbach trying to hang on a second. Then the 14 of Tyler Peterson right behind him. Can the young man out of Stacy, Minnesota, recover from that near blowover that cost him pole position and find a way to get on top of the podium? That's going to be tough with the likes of Schmierbach and Williams in front of you as they push hard down through turn number 2, down to the backside of the course on the north end. Williams already now sliding through turn number 3. Schmierbach going tight to the inside. He kicks it up off his tail now. Schmierbach walking wide to the outside, trying to find that clean water. Peterson wide of him. Through turn number 3. turn 4, that chicane on the front stretch there, now down into turn 1, lap number 2. 1 lap down. 18 laps or so remain here in this 15 minutes plus 1 lap. Main event here in the Formula Lights, brought to you by Lake Havasu VIP Storage. Schmierbach now hugging it tight off of turn number 2. Williams really starting to pull away. This is going to be tough for anybody to catch him. He's got so much smooth water out there, and that boat just loves a little bit of chop. Was not a big fan of the racing conditions yesterday, but this is perfect for the man out of California trying to bring some hardware back. West with him when he wraps up racing this weekend here. The number 10 of Williams now sets it tight down into turn number 1, going right off the pin. Then scoots it wide out to lane 3, now diving down to the inside there, Schmierbach. There's an overhead view of the 10 of Jason Williams, our leader. Wilson. Williams, construction and backhoe service on the side. That all red Grand Prix designed Formula Light out in front now. Will the 35 of Schmierbach and the rest of the field be able to catch the man out in front? There's the 24 of Jared Wallach. He was able to get by the 97 of Jared Jensen, the rookie, still learning here in Formula Lights, but pushing hard, trying to catch the 24 of Wallach. There's our leader, the 10 of Jason Williams. Ooh, he went tight to that buoy. Did he pop that buoy? Did he pop that buoy? Looks like we've got a deflated buoy, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 1-lap penalty. If that holds true, that could have just ruined the race for the leader, the 10 of Jason Williams. He was out in front. He went tight to turn number 1, and he might have dislodged a buoy. It was an automatic 1-lap penalty, and now he's really going to have to lay the hammer down. He's going to have to lap the entire field to try to find that top spot on the podium. If it comes to fruition, that 1-lap penalty will be assessed. I don't know. I don't make the calls. It just looked like he popped the buoy. It looks a little flat, but we'll have to check it after the race. There's the 35 of Schmierbach trying to find a way to get by the 10 of Williams. He's first got to catch him, though. Then you see the 14 of Peterson, followed by the 13 of Schubert. Starting to stretch out. There's the buoy there. It looks like it's partially deflated. We'll have our rescue crews and our operational team check that buoy after the race to confirm if it was dislodged. We do know that the 10 of Jason Williams did hit it, but if he didn't dislodge it and he didn't pop it, then he's okay. But he's now knows his radio man inside's like, hey man, I think you might have hit that buoy. You got to go, go, go. And it's just so hard to get that far away from somebody like the 35 of Mark Schmierbach and the 14 of Tyler Peterson, as those guys are really running well here in the late stages of the 2022 season. You see all the great spectators on the outside of the course there hanging out in their beautiful boats, watching here on the shores of Lake Havasu. What a great playground this is for adults. It is America's playground down here. It is an absolute blast. Went down to Legends Bar and Grill last night, had a great burger and some wings with my wife and son, and we had a great time last night. Rented an Airbnb here. Man, I got to say, having a hot tub and a pool at your house is so awesome. Probably needed here. Something we're not used to up in Minnesota, but very enjoyable. There's the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, that pizza in machine, trying to find a way to catch this man out in front right now. What we don't know is if a 1-lap penalty will be assessed to the 10 of Jason Williams. We'll have to take a look at that buoy afterwards, but he is fighting hard now and pushing because he knows if that does happen, he's got to try to get by and catch some of these boats on that are in front of him yet that would be back markers, but then that would actually get him back on the lead lap. So just to try to get on the podium, Williams has really got to push hard. It's got to be so frustrating after such a great start there. Went all the way to the back of the dock, came from last off the start pontoon, and ended up at the commitment buoy, chopping off everybody totally legally and pulling out in front for the rest of the field. There's the 13 of Schubert starting to close the gap now on the 14 of Tyler Peterson, who's probably still a bit disoriented from that big slap his boat made after he almost blew it over. I still can't believe he didn't end up on his head, but glad he didn't and he could fight another day. And fighting right now is the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, trying to find room to make up ground between him and the 10 of Williams. There's the 14 of Peterson and the 13 of Schubert. They're starting to close the gap a little bit on Schubert, but not too terribly much here. We're in this 15 minutes plus 1 lap. As our leader, the 10 of Williams, continues to push hard. There goes the 35 of Schmierbach. Williams is fighting hard because he doesn't know if he's going to be assessed that penalty. If he is, he's going to have to fight a lot harder than he is right now because he's going to have to somehow figure out how to lap the field here in this main event to try to bring home that top hardware in the Lake Havasu VIP Storage Formula Lights Championship here at the 2022 Anderson Toyota Lake Havasu Classic. What a great overhead view there. As the 13 of Grant Schubert comes zipping by down the front straightaway past our drone. He's going to go catch back up with the other boats here in the Formula Lights class. That's the 97. Of Jared Jensen. There's our leader, the 10 of Jason Williams, starting to close the gap between him and the 97 of Jared Jensen, possibly get that boat a lap down and put some back markers between the 10 of Williams and the 35 of Schmierbach to try and salvage this race here. That buoy does look like it's partially deflated, so I'm very concerned for the 10 of Jason Williams, and that has got to be so frustrating for the young man out of California who was running so well. What a phenomenal start, and now he's just trying to hang on to see if he somehow can make it on the podium. But oh no, the 14 of Tyler Peterson spins out. Wait. On the back straightaway, the 14 of Tyler Peterson spins out, and now he's got a long way to go to try to catch the 35 of Schmierbach, but now the 13 of Grant Schubert is filling his rearview mirrors, and when you put blood in the water, the 13 of Grant Schubert is like a great white shark. He will sniff it out and hunt you down, and now the 14 of Tyler Peterson's got a battle to try to stay on the podium here in Formula Lights. As he goes wide to the outside of turn number 1, Schubert goes down to the inside. See, Peterson's trying to take out turn 2 and try to flatten that turn as much as possible so he doesn't have to set the boat. He sweeps it down into turn number 2, and now it's starting to open up a little bit more over the 13 of Schubert. But now the 35 of Schmierbach, if that one-lap penalty holds true, the leader is the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, and he's got a big lead over the 14 of Peterson after Peterson spun out down there in turn number 2. But they're fighting hard out there on the shores of Lake Havasu. There's the 35 of Schmierbach. There's the 14 of Tyler Peterson now pushing down the front stretch. He crosses the start-finish line, and he starts to pull away again from the 13 of Schubert. Halfway point here in this 15 minutes plus 1 lap main event in Formula Lights. The 10 of Jason Williams was able to get by trying to get by the 97 of Jared Jensen, sitting in 5th position. Sitting in 6th position. Oh no, the 97 of Jared Jensen spins out down the front straightaway. You'll see the 35 of Schmierbach there, and he is dead in the turn. That we got to watch out now. That's going to be very dangerous for the rest of the competitors. We're going to have to go blue and white flag as he's floating out there in turn number 1. This is what happens in your rookie season. It seems like if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. And that buoy is now completely disappeared. The one that we believed was popped by the 10 of Jason Williams. There's the 97 of Jared Jensen, the JH Performance Island Link Marine Machine, now dead in the water. Unfortunate for the young man out of Colorado. And we got to shoot a flare. He's just in an unsafe place. The boat is dead in the water, and that is not what the 35 of Mark Schmierbach wanted to see. Because now we're going to have to run a restart with 5 minutes remaining. All right, and now we've got a replay of that buoy getting hit by the 10 of Williams to see if he is assessed with a penalty. Williams is coming in down into turn number 1. What a great shot from the live race media. He comes in and absolutely hammers that buoy. 1 lap penalty will be assessed to the 10 of Jason Williams. I don't know if he's going to go to the end of the dock or have to incur that lap penalty at the end of the race, but that might have been the saving grace for the 10 of Jason Williams, because he's done it once. He went to the last off the dock. See that replay again. He comes in and he just sets it a little too tight to the turn, trying to push it to the limit, and just comes out in the bad end of it. And then all of a sudden we get a red flag. The 97 of Jared Jensen goes dead right in the middle of turn number 1. That's a safety precaution that we have to take. Chief referee Doug Ray shoots that big red flare. That denotes shut your engine off right now. Red flag on the course. And Jason Williams is thanking his lucky stars right now, because there is no way he would have ever been able to catch everybody in the field and lap them all. It just wasn't going to happen. We only got 5 minutes left in this race. And so now we see it has been officially noted that the 10 of Jason Williams is going to be starting 5th on this restart. He was able to get by the 97 of Jared Jensen before his boat went dead in the water, so he had moved up to 5th with that 1 lap penalty. Now, because they're going back to the start pontoon, that 1 lap penalty is negated. So he just has to go to the end of the dock, and since he was already assessed a 1 lap penalty, he's in last place anyway. That's where he's going to finish up, because the 97 of Jensen looks like his day is done as they're pushing that machine back to shore. Yeah, and it looks like he didn't actually hit the buoy per se starting. The problem was, right, we've got all our buoys anchored to the bottom of the lake with big rope and bricks, big giant concrete bricks. Well, when he dove down in, he hooked the rope on that buoy, and then that slid up the pickle fork of the boat and caused him to catch the buoy and pop it. As you can see, we've been looking at that replay again. He just hooked the rope, and it slid up the inside of that left sponson, and you'll see right there. Boom. You see how he drug it with him, and that you could tell he hooked that rope and drug the buoy with him. It deflated the buoy. Without the restart, there's nothing he could have done. And technically, the rule is you damage, dislodge, or destroy a buoy, you are assessed a 1 lap penalty. Since he destroyed that buoy, it went flat, he got assessed that penalty. But the stars aligned, and a restart happened, and he now gets a chance to get back on the lead lap and track down the rest of these drivers. Can he do it again? He had a great jump there on our restart after that near side-by-side double blowover between the 14 of Peterson and the 10 of Williams. And we're just going to get the race course back into position, put that buoy back in place, and get these guys lined up. All right, we're going to get these Formula Lights back to the dock with a new order. And then they're going to run the last 5 minutes in this Lake Havasu VIP Storage Championship race here in Formula Lights. Who's going to bring home that top hardware? Will the 35 of Mark Schmierbach get a better jump than he did last time? Or will the 14 of Tyler Peterson outrun him to the commitment buoy and find himself in the catbird seat with the potential of his first win in Formula Lights in that brand new Danish-built Molagard hull? The 35 of Schmierbach on the pole. The 14 of Tyler Peterson in second. In third will be that JH Performance Machine of Grant Schubert. Fourth off the start pontoon will be the 24 of Jared Wallach and that Clover Construction Machine. And in fifth, the number 10 of Jason Williams. The 97 of Jared Jensen going dead in the water down there in turn 1 was the cause for the stoppage. Jet ski Jared picking up some loose buoys out on the water that he found. It's amazing the things that Jared finds out there on the race course, floating around in the water, buoys. Sometimes you'll find nice big logs. You're not really going to get that down here. There isn't really any huge trees to speak of. But we're getting them lined up here and waiting for the last boat, the 10 of Williams, to turn around and get his way back to the shore. We're going to take a quick break here for a minute while these guys get lined up, and we'll be right back with the conclusion of our Formula Lights Championship, brought to you by Lake Havasu VIP Storage here at the Anderson Toyota 2022 Lake Havasu Classic.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute. With our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
right, we just about got them all lined up here and ready to rock and roll for the 5-minute dash for cash here at the Lake Havasu VIP Storage Formula Lights Championship here in the Lake Havasu Classic 2022 edition, the final round of the 2022 Formula One Powerboat Championships as we travel the country entertaining fans and putting on some unbelievable deck-to-deck racing wherever we go. Don't forget to check us out at Formula1PowerboatChampionships.com. Find us on Facebook at F1 Powerboat Championships or on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe our pages, share it out, let your friends know the cool stuff you saw here at Lake Havasu this weekend or wherever you are across the United States and being able to enjoy our events. Hopefully we're going to be coming to some cities near you in 2023. Been a great weekend of racing. We saw the Formula One H2O Series run earlier today. Congratulations to Daniel Kimsey in his victory at the race in Sardinia. It was a 70-lapper on a very small course, possibly even smaller than our race course in Highlands, Texas 3 weeks ago. They were laying sub-28-second lap times in those Formula One races over there. And we had some great racing all weekend here as we can wrap up the 2022 race season here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Looks like we've got them just about all lined up and ready to go. We've got the buoy replaced there in turn number 1. And it looks like they're trying to get the 97 of Jared Jensen. What happened down there is after the buoy got not dislodged, but destroyed by the 10 of Williams, it deflated. Well, this 97 of Jensen couldn't see that the buoy was deflated. He went tight off the turn, and he got the rope from the buoy wrapped around the lower unit, caused that thing to lock up, or he shut it down because he wasn't going anywhere. And now they got that back on the beach. They're trying to get the debris out of the lower unit and get that machine back on the water and ready to rock and roll here for this Lake Havasu VIP Storage Formula Lights Championship here at the 2022 Lake Havasu Classic. So let's take one last look at that buoy by the 10 of Jason Williams. Boy, he is just flying that thing. Notice that motor's turning a little bit, and then it just hooks, and bam. He caught that buoy and popped it. I know, you got to imagine he knew what happened as soon as he did it. And he had to have known from there, all right, now I got to run this thing hard. I got to catch everybody if I want to end up on the podium. And then, as luck would have it, the stars aligned. The 97 of Jensen. Oddly enough, actually, the race was stopped because of the 10 of Jason Williams popping the buoy because another boat picked it up. So not only did he cause his own chaos, his chaos was actually his own savior. Interesting to think, right? He pops the buoy. He gets assessed a lap penalty, but then the race gets stopped because another competitor sucks up the rope from the buoy that he popped a few laps before. And we've got another replay of that whole situation from our great guys at Live Race Media. Let's take a look there. That's the blowover. This has been an interesting handful of laps for the 10 of Jason Williams. There goes Williams on the right, Peterson on the left. They almost blow it over. And somehow keep it upright. What a great shot by our drone. And the great folks at Live Race Media. Here's our other onshore cameras. You can see the 10 of Williams goes up. The 14 of Peterson starts to peel over the 10, and bam, Peterson just hits the water hard. That had to wake you up. If he wasn't woke up and ready to go for this Formula Lights Championship, he definitely was after that near side-by-side double blowover. You don't see those happen too often. You almost never see both of them come down. And now the 14 of Tyler Peterson has done that twice. Once in San Jacinto 3 weeks ago in Highlands, Texas, and he did it again here. Talk about a guy who knows how to put on a show. The young man out of Stacy, Minnesota, running for Latitude, is putting on a show for the folks here in Lake Havasu, just like he did in Highlands, Texas, at the Battle on the San Jacinto. All right, just in a brief hold as we had our scoring system. Had a bit of a glitch here. Chief scorer Lindsey Matthews looking to correct everything right now. It looks like we're discussing some of the legalities in the rule book. They're pulling out their rule book to check where to place the 10 of Jason Williams. All right, so it looks like here we're discussing, because of the sequence of events, I've just been informed that potentially the 10 of Williams might be moved again, but we're going to have to wait and see here as we figure out all the details here, right? These points are important. Every point matters. We've got season standings. These guys drive all over the country. They're fighting hard for valuable points to really validate all their hard work and what they put into this sport. They are true consummate professionals. And so we want to make sure that we get it right. We do apologize. We just don't have these opportunities. These things don't happen very often. It's not like it happens every weekend we go out where these unique situations and confluence of events lay on top of one another. And so we want to make sure that we get it right. So we're working through that right now as we wait for these 5 minutes left in this restart here in the Formula Lights main event, brought to you by Lake Havasu VIP Storage. And while we got a minute here, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors here throughout all of 2022. Mercury Racing, our title sponsor for 2022. Mercury Racing, committed to the pursuit of wide open. Accept no boundaries and accept no compromise. JH Performance Boats, custom handcrafted shallow water bay boats built with the highest quality materials. Axel Sports, our apparel partner for 2022, your only choice for all your racing apparel. Axel Sports, check them out at axelsports.com. VP Racing Fuels. VP Racing Fuels has been the choice of champions for decades. Now you can benefit from VP's expanded line of performance additives for your boat, daily driver, or weekend warrior. Check them out at vpracingfuels.com. Racing Communications. Well, they're radios for racing. Seabolt Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. Seaway Marine, your one-stop boat motor shop, seawaymarine.com, marine parts online, fast. And our streaming partner for 2022, the great folks at Bowden Development. Building to a higher standard, Bowden Development started in Monrovia in 1971. Has created an enduring tradition of exceptional quality, consumer confidence, and sharp foresight and integrity at every level. It's only natural they treat their clients and customers like part of the team. They understand the importance of home, community, and family, and it's their motivation each and every day, the great folks at Bowden Development. All right, looks like we've got things worked through here, just trying to get everything dialed in and lined up. All right, and it looks like I just got word we got a bit of a changeroo here due to the timing of when things occurred. The 10 of Jason Williams will move to the pole for this restart, but he does so with a one-lap penalty. So now he's going to have to get out in front, and he's going to have to get out in front fast, and he's going to have to boogie because he's got the 14 of Tyler Peterson, the 35 of Schmierbach, and the 13 of Grant Schubert right on his hip. He doesn't have a big lead now that he can lean on and try to push and extend and try to catch some of those other boats. He's now got to get out front, and he's got to try to run them all down from the front position because he is essentially he's a lap down, and he can't get rid of it by going back to the start pontoon. I apologize. That was my misinformation. I thought that the stoppage from another driver would allow him to go to the back of the dock and be back on the lead lap. That is not how the rules are laid out. The rules state that because they were separate incidents, he still incurs that one lap penalty, and he cannot go to the back of the dock to negate that penalty. As you can see here one more time, the 10 of Williams goes in and clip, picks up that buoy there. And our Texas Tri-Hull guys are so excited. They're already loaded, and they want to get their main event started. And they didn't even realize we still got 5 minutes to go in the Formula Lights final. The 99 of Devin Brown and the 88 of Josh Wells just a little too excited, so now we're going to have to let them clear the course and let the waves subside here before we get rolling with this 5 minutes remaining in this main event in Formula Lights. Let those rollers clear. And we'll be ready to go here momentarily, coming up on the 1 minute gun. The 10 of Williams is on the pole, but he's a lap down. He's got a lot of ground to make up. What is he going to do? What an interesting position for the number 10 of Jason Williams to be in. He's got to be kicking himself right now, but at least he's got a shot at redemption. Will he be able to pull it off? Or will the 35 of Mark Schmierbach be the man who brings that first place hardware back to Wisconsin as he's fighting for series championship? Could he be the series champion in 2 different series in Formula Lights that run in the United States? 2 series, 1 champion. That would be an impressive feat for the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. But he knows he's got to have a rearview mirror full of 14 of Peterson and the 13 of Schubert. It looks like we got some other large boat traffic that are trying to make their way here to the Nautical Beachfront Resort, so we got to get the Formula Lights race rolling here so we can allow that traffic to clear through. Coming up on the 1. 1 minute drivers, 1 minute. What will the 10 of Jason Williams do? Can he run down the rest of the field from that top spot on the start pontoon and find his way in victory after that rough incident in turn number 1 where he dislodged a buoy? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will the 35 of Mark Schmierbach set himself up off the start and make sure that the 10 of Williams can't get behind him? And can he run that all the way to victory? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or will the 14 of Tyler Peterson bring a championship trophy home to Stacy, Minnesota? 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Or could the 13 of Grant Schubert finally get it figured out and run that thing to the checkered flag? Let's crown a champion here at the Lake Havasu VIP Storage Formula Lights Championship here at the Lake Havasu Classic. 20 seconds, drivers, you're under starters orders. He drops the flag. They come off the beach. Good jump there by the 10 of Williams. He needed that, but a better jump there by the 13 of Schubert. Then the 14 of Peterson, and the 35 of Schmierbach's getting left in the dust. Surprising. Let's see what happens now as the 14 of Peterson starts to shut the door on the 35 of Schmierbach. He does. He chops him down inside. Now goes way wide to the outside of Williams. And your leader right now, the de facto leader, is the 14 of Tyler Peterson. But side by side, sitting in 3rd and 4th, there's the 35 of Schmierbach and the 13 of Schubert. Don't count those guys out yet. We've got 5 minutes remaining here in this main event in Formula Lights. Who's going to be the champion? Will it be the 14 of Tyler Peterson or the 35 of Mark Schmierbach? Can the 10 of Williams, the man out in front, somehow miraculously undo a 1-lap penalty? Boy, we got 4 boats jammed up on top of one another. There's the 13 of Schubert, goes down tight to the inside, trying to get by the 35 of Schmierbach. There's Peterson. He goes outside now, crosses down to the inside of Wake. Nope, doesn't think that's a good line and has to go scooting back to the outside. You see that white line behind the motor? That is all air that's been churned up behind that Formula Lights. And now here Williams pulls off the race course. I don't know what's going on. He goes way wide to the outside. Way wide to the outside. I think he realizes that he's not going to be able to catch the rest of the field, so he tries to get out of the way and let them duke it out. But he went way wide to the outside, now just running for points. I think he figured out that it's just not in the cards after that buoy, so he gets shuffled back to 4th position and allows the 14 of Peterson and the 35 of Schmierbach and the 13 of Schubert to slug it out for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. This could be a huge moment for the young man out of Stacy, Minnesota. He bought that boat about a month and a half ago, had it shipped over from Denmark. They rigged it feverishly the week prior to the round 4 back in on the Battle on the San Jacinto in Highlands, Texas 3 weeks ago. He finished 3rd there. Could this be the first victory for a Molagard Formula Light here in the United States? That Latitude sponsored device, sponsored machine with 14 of Tyler Peterson behind the wheel is out in front now, pushing away from the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. The 97 of Jared Jensen was able to get things back fixed and back on the water. He was assessed a 1-lap penalty for stopping the race, but he was sitting in 6th position already, so he's just out there gaining some valuable points. And a lot of great seat time in this Formula Light, a rookie here in 2022, so he's pushing hard. There's the 24 of Wallach and the 10 of Williams as they're going side by side, and the 10 of Williams is just kind of allowing everybody to get around him, which will kind of undo what has been done, and now he can get back to just racing out there. But it is right now all Tyler Peterson. There you see Tyler come off turn 2. Then it's the 35 of Schmierbach, and then Schubert. There's the man out in front, that Danish-built Molegard hull, all carbon fiber and composite. Typically run over in Europe, where they run a much cleaner EP 64-stroke Mercury, but it is a big, heavy motor that isn't as competitive as our Formula Lights motors here. And they said, you know what, I think we can put a Formula Light motor on the back of that Formula 4 machine, and I think it can run well. And if the Molegard boat manufacturing company has not recognized this, you might want to start calling all the Formula Lights drivers in the United States, because everybody is going to want one of these Molegards after the success with the 14 of Tyler Peterson the last few races after bringing that boat stateside here just about a month and a half ago. There, our leader comes out of turn number 3. The 14 of Tyler Peterson way out in front on the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. I don't know if anybody's going to catch this young man as we're winding down to the end of this main event in Formula Lights. As we've got 2 laps remaining here in this main event in Formula Lights. Go fast, turn left just 8 more times to the young man out of Minnesota. And if he can pull this off, he will be a first-time champion here in Formula Lights. We got a great tradition in the APBA where if you win your first race, they get to throw you in the lake that you just won it on. I know team principal Aaron Wachholz is getting quite excited for the proposition of being able to chuck his driver into the water. There's the white flag. Ken, the man from Minnesota, putting it on its tail, coming down the front straightaway, taking 4 more times around this half-mile course here on the shores of Lake Havasu and ride it all the way to victory as he goes wide out of turn number 1. Finding that quick line, now sets it up for the turn number 2. He spun out here earlier in the 3rd and final qualifying heat. He makes it nice and easy. Way wide off the buoy, has to not pick one of those up on the final lap. Now comes down the back straightaway, eyeing up turn number 3. As he comes down into turn number 3, the last hard turn here on this half-mile course as he sweeps it wide out of turn number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in history, a Danish-built Molegard Formula 4 wins in Formula Lights, and the first-time winner out of Stacy, Minnesota, number 14, Tyler Peterson. In 2nd place and securing the season championship, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, and rounding out the podium, the 13 of Grant Schubert. What a great run for the young man out of Stacy, Minnesota. What a crazy turn of events that was in Formula Lights. We had a side-by-side double blowover that almost happened. We had our leader hit a buoy. And with 2 restarts, we had a lead change after the 14 of Tyler Peterson was able to beat the 35 of Mark Schmierbach to the 14 of Peterson, and he's got some damage on the front of that Formula Light machine. Checkered flag in hand, presented by our great sponsors at VP Fuels, and he comes ripping off the course, and he's got to feel great. The 14 of Tyler Peterson pulling home victory here in the Formula Lights class. And there's our winner, the 14 of Tyler Peterson. What a great run. There's the 14 of Tyler Peterson, giving a big show out in front here at the Nautical Beachfront Resort. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you one more time. The 14 of Tyler Peterson, your champion here in the Lake Havasu VIP Storage Formula Lights Championship, here as a part of the 2022 Lake Havasu Classic here at the beautiful Nautical Beachfront Resort. I'm kind of excited to talk to Tyler. What a crazy ride it was for him. He almost blew it over for the 2nd race in a row. He didn't get a good jump on the restart. He was mired back in 3rd or 4th position. We had another restart, and he was able to figure that start out, and he got it cruising. We can get some good footage, get some good footage of the young man climbing out of the cockpit right there. Getting congratulations from his significant other and his team principal. And we're going to have a chance to chat with him here as he throws on the headset. Well, before I make this statement, I'm going to first say congratulations, young man. It's been a crazy month and a half for you guys. How does it feel, your first victory in Formula Lights?
That was a crazy race. You can't make that one up. It feels great.
Now the second question is, are you going to have to change your pants when you go back to the pits after that double blowover? What the heck was that all about?
I don't know. We shared some air, and we got a little goofy out there, and thank goodness she came back down.
You developed a knack for these things. This is now the second time in 2 races on the start, heading past the commitment buoy, you touched with another boat, and you almost blew it over twice, but neither time you ended up on your head. How do you pull that off?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'd like to not do that anymore.
Oh, well, hey, man, let's talk about it, right? I mean, obviously, you had a fast boat. I think this thing's probably a lot faster than you expected it to be this quickly on. I guess kudos to the setup and your race team for getting everything dialed in. But the boat just seems to handle extremely well when nobody ever thought that bigger boat would handle the SST45 or the Formula Light motor package here in the United States. But clearly, you're proving everybody wrong.
I just can't thank my team enough for all the work they did to get this boat over here. They stuck through us through the first part of the year. We had some problems, and I can't thank everybody enough for the help.
Well, hey, man, I'm going to let you enjoy this, right? I'm not going to eat up too much of your time. I think you got a nice tradition coming that you may or may not enjoy. But, hey, congratulations. It's your first win in Formula Lights, probably the first of many. Enjoy it, young man. And we'll see you on the podium later on this afternoon. Give you that hardware. Congratulations.